All right, we'll hit the start button. 6 o'clock in the building. What's going on, family? As always, getting things settled in, man. So glad that you are here, checking in. I am responding in the chat. I see Miss Gimme Cornbread is in the building. Hey, such a beautiful day. So glad to be alive. So glad to be above ground and be here with some of my favorite people in the world. Turn this up a little bit, man. It's the jam. There we go. All right, so we got that now. We should be set. Got to go make sure my people on Facebook is set and good to go. Let me double check. Should be good. Let me get them set up in the comments so we can get busy, right? All right. Let's do this. Where am I going? Oh, let's see. Here. That's where I want to go. All right. Facebook. Find it. Yes. No. Okay.
To compare to your stare, they gotta be something, baby. Cause I know that they don't make them quite
I can't even spell it now. There we are. Now we should be good on both fronts, and I think we are. Good. Welcome, everybody. So glad to have everybody here checking in this Friday. Oh, my goodness. I think the music was a little too loud. Y'all couldn't hear me talk. Y'all better get into the groove this evening. I want y'all to feel like my man right here, right? We gonna get into it. Groove slightly. Hey, yeah, he boogie. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, so good to be here. I know I say it all the time, but it's so true, man. I'm so glad to be here this week, man. It has been an interesting week. Not really that interesting for me. I was sick all week. So if y'all hear me sniffling a little bit, I'm just getting over the cold. Thank God for natural home remedies. If your throat feel like it's about to catch on fire, my recommendation, all natural apple cider vinegar and honey, absolutely work. As soon as I feel an itch in my throat, I'm mixing up my concoction, and once I drink it, I'm good. No, I don't think I got to deal with a sinus congestion, but at least my throat is good. Apple cider vinegar and honey. So 1-to-1 mix, you're good to go. All right. Let's see who is in the building. Oh, excuse me. Harris Inc. 256 says hello from the NC. What's going on from the LB? Good to see you in the building. Unc is in the building. Mr. Van Hennessy is always good to see you. Pops, I see you. He has joined us live this evening. So glad that everybody is here. Let me get some water. Man, so glad to see everybody again checking in on this Friday. What is this? Hey, it is Friday the 13th, right? It is what the second one we've had this year, Friday the 13th. I had no idea. I didn't plan on it being this way. This is, as the song say, this is the way nature planned it, right? Friday the 13th. I was going to get my Jason mask and bring out my machete, but then Christian said that I probably would get like knocked or something off YouTube because I'll be promoting violence. Makes sense, right? Because if I'm coming on here in a Jason style hockey mask with a big old machete, I guess that's violence. So I didn't do it. You know, I listen every now and again to my kids when they talk to me. But anyway, welcome to another Friday night. Family, friends, Financial Friday. So good to have you here. It's your favorite uncle, cousin, Tyrone Gregory in the building, and we are about to get busy. A lot of things to talk about tonight, especially with the network. Talking about networking, right? Because your net worth is tied to your network. So we're going to talk about that this evening. And also, I was trying to think it was something. I wanted to make sure I got everything out the way, all the housekeeping, any updates, anything that I may have thought I may have forgotten. Don't know. Anyway, so let's go ahead and cue the intro video, and when we come back, we'll get busy. All right, come on. Alrighty, family, welcome back once again. So glad to have you here. For those of you who are just maybe tuning in, don't know who I am, never seen before, just happen on YouTube or Facebook and be like, oh, somebody's live. Let's see who that is. Please allow me to introduce myself. My name is, no, I ain't gonna say, oh, that copyright. Here I am, right? Here, my name, Tyrone Gregory, your favorite uncle, cousin, the self-employed tax guy. And again, so glad to be joined here with the youngest, I got to put your title on there. Right here, there he is. Mr. Christian Gregory, the nephew, who's actually middle child. I'm sorry. Y'all know I get 3 kids, you get children tied. I ain't tongue-tied no more. Yeah, you the middle child. So school let him up for the day, so he decided to join me. I'm glad he's here because as I am going to be doing PowerPoint, I won't be able to see comments and questions. He's going to be moderating that. So if anything is missed, this guy's to blame. But go tell the people, say something to the family, sir.
You're my spotlight. Okay, no, I'm just playing. But good evening, family. I'm trying to come here consistently, but school keeps holding me up because. School,
They don't know.
School first.
Yes,
everybody knows about school. Right? Right?
First, I get busy.
He gonna give me my spotlight. Look at him being mean. But hope everybody has a great night tonight. And yeah, love y'all.
Thank you. All right, good. Get to the comments so we can get busy. So, man, how is everybody doing this evening? Hope y'all are doing well. Again, appreciate everybody who's here in the chat. So, we have maybe 6 Fridays left in this year. So glad that 2020 is almost over. So glad that 2021 is so close. Hoping that 2021, I got a feeling a little 20 of 20 is going to spill over into 2021, but it won't take up all of 2021. So I'm excited for that, ready to get back to just living, right? Ready to get back to just being out there and being everything, man. And more important, I'm ready to take off the mask, right? I want to be able to breathe just a little bit without breathing into that mask. So yes, I'm excited for 2021. Man. Harrison Inc. 251 says, learned a lot from you and Stan. Man, my man Stan Banks. So that lets me know you in good company, right? Mr. Harrison Inc., we appreciate you taking in our content, joining us and things like that, which is part of the topic for tonight, right? Our network. The bigger our network, the bigger our net worth. That is the absolute goal for tonight. So seeing that I don't want to take up much time, I want to go ahead and get to the subject for tonight so I can make sure that I answer questions at the end. So let me go ahead and pull everything up so we can get busy here. And give me a second here. Miss Susie Brown, I see you over there on Facebook. Thank you so very much for joining me as always. So let me pull up what I need to pull up here. Where is it? All right. There it goes. Okay. So as always, let me share my screen with you so we can get to the topic of tonight. Christian, make sure that as comments are coming in that you let me know so I can stop talking and I can respond. Got that? Yep. All right. So let's go ahead and get to the topic of tonight, right? Networking. Now, it's important, and we're going to see why as we get into this content here. And this is something that I discovered the importance of networking a long time ago when I went to a mixer. And I went to this mixer as a solopreneur. Right? Like I had been to mixers before, right? But I was always a representative of the company I worked for. So it was just me letting people know that, yes, I'm an employee of this company. This is what we do, whatever. And one night, I went as a representative of my own company. And it was a completely different dynamic, but it really taught me a lesson, and we're gonna get to it tonight. So let's talk about the network and its importance, right? So the first, in traditional tax guide manner, we have to answer the question, well, what is a network exactly? And of course, definition, there's two ways. You can look at it from a noun perspective, or you can look at it as a verb, which is networking. But a network is a group or system. And I love those two words, a group or system of interconnected, right? To me, that's those three words, group, system, interconnected, should really stand out in this definition. Interconnected people or things. The second definition is the fact that it is a group of people who exchange information, contacts, and experience for a professional or social purpose, okay? And of course, the verb, which is the networking, means that if you're networking, you are connecting or as an operate with a network. If you are networking, you are interacting with others. Pretty much the same as the first group up there. But that is what a network is, okay? A network is a group of individuals. It is, well, I mean, I guess it is that. It's like a system, right? And some networks are complicated. Some networks are real easy. Some networks are vast, or some networks are small. But regardless of what it is, like it says here, it's a system of interconnected people, right? People who are connected. Like your family can be your network, absolutely. But do you want it to be? Let's just be honest. Referring back to when John Phillips was here, we were talking about the friends, family, and business. And we were talking about, how we go to our family. And he's like, I forgot what he said. I think he called everybody who does that like an idiot or something like that. That was what he said. But what he said after that was the fact that you need to go to a qualified pool, which makes sense. The people you go to for resources needs to be a qualified pool of individuals that you can pull from. Okay, so I like that definition, understanding that we are connected. And I know it seems very challenging today to connect to people, which is why I wanted to talk about it, because even though it seems challenging, it is still important. Okay, so let's get back to it. The next thing I want to discuss tonight is why, is networking, and why is your network so important? I'm gonna leave it there while I get a drink of water real quick. All right, I'm back. So, the reason why, and I'm gonna talk about this, the reason why your network is so important, let me just do this here, is simply because you don't know, or should I say, we don't know everything, and we don't have access to all the resources that we need. That is the main reason why your network is so important. Outside of that, it's just good to know people. For example, me, myself, right? Like, I don't know every single tax law. I honestly don't know every single thing that comes to, even though people expect it. The minute that you say, oh, you do taxes? What about this? Or what about that? They will give you so many scenarios and you're like, whoa, my focus is, if the tax law, I'm going to say is this much, I'm going to say my focus is about that much, right? But I can say, if I don't know, I know somebody who does. because of I have a network. So, for example, with y'all here, my family here, I'm excited that I know Miss Gimme Cornbread. Why? Because she has knowledge of things that I don't. She has experiences that I don't. And the fact that she does process mapping, which is something that I don't do. But guess what? It's a need in business. Everybody should have a process map of their business. But now that I've been networking and I have Miss Gimme Cornbread, I can now go to her and be like, hey, I need this process map. Or if anybody who what I'm dealing with when I'm doing my business coaching and my one-on-one, and I was like, you know what? You need a process map. I don't do it. I know somebody who does. So it's important that we network, because if we just try to do everything within ourselves, we become limited. Like we only can go so far, right? If we don't network with other individuals that have access to things, again, that we don't have access to resources. It's good to network because people have other ideas. Like you can be stuck, literally stuck. Like, man, I know it's something. I know I just like I can't get it. I can't get it there. But if you had that network, you can reach out to your network and be like, man, I'm stuck. And they'll do what's called like a mastermind session or a mastermind group, and everybody get to kicking out different ideas. And now you go from stuck to moving forward. Okay. So to answer the question, why is it important? It's important because it's needed. It's important because it shores us up, right? If you aren't, let's say if you're not stored, there's something called a SWOT analysis. And most people who either went to college, been in business for a while, that know real true business understands what a SWOT, SWOT analysis is. And the S, and let me give you that breakdown. S is for your strengths. W is for your weaknesses. O is for your opportunities, and T is for your threats. And you put that in a 4 quadrant or whatever, you don't have to be in a 4 block quadrant, but you list out what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, what are your opportunities, and what are your threats. And usually if you're being honest with yourself, which is what I strongly suggest that you do, when you list out the areas that are your weaknesses and your opportunities, you'll start to see like, okay, this weakness here can really be a detriment to my business, but how do I make it a strength? How do I shore it up so that it doesn't collapse? Well, that's where your network comes in, because you can look in that weakness box and say, I'm not good at process mapping, but you know what? I'm not good at process mapping, but I have somebody in my network that is. So now that weakness can transform from a weakness to an opportunity. Okay. It's no longer something that is going to, on the back end, bring down the business. So it's important that we create networks. Got it? Next thing. Let me. So I'm gonna go back. Put myself here on the screen when I do this. I'm gonna go back. Give me Cornbread says something. Send it to the screen for me, sir. I don't know. My PowerPoint want to act up today. It's Friday the 13th, so I'm not surprised that things want to act up, right? Huh? It didn't come through, no. Nothing's coming up there. Oh, you know what? Let me try something here. Let me go to the social. Could be me. Overlay 4. All right, try it again. Nope, that didn't hit. Okay. Let's do. Try it again. I just set the title. Do it one more time. Let's see. Like I said, Friday the 13th, I got brand new computer, so I had to reset everything up. There it is. I think I got it working. Miss Gimme Cornbread says they are great, and she is absolutely right. That's why I'm referring to her, because she knows exactly what it is I'm talking about, right? Now let me get back to try to fix this little PowerPoint of ours.
You need to have one of those connection problem things.
What's that?
You know, like when there's like something going on with the TV show and they put the have the Peter Griffin connection difficulties.
Yeah, let's see.
You didn't play that one song, the elevator music.
I don't know. No, I think there's something wrong with PowerPoint. Let me just shut PowerPoint down and see what happens. And bring it back up. So forgive me, guys. This is why it's live, right? Y'all see everything happening. Johnny on the spot. So let me.
Have a conversation with your viewers.
Yeah. Get it set up again. So while I'm doing this setup, man, how y'all doing?
How's life, guys?
Yeah, life is good, right? Let's see here. Let me go back and reopen it. See what happens. All right, now. We talked about why it's important. All right, now I'm bringing the screen back up here. Okay, I should be good. Excuse the technical difficulties. So now we are going to talk about, well, how do you do it, right? How do you do the actual networking? How do you do it? So let me bring this up here, because I'm going to do this. Are we all familiar with this plus sign? Let me know in the comments and chat right now. Do we know what this means? That plus sign right there. Hoping everybody says yes. Everybody know what the plus signs mean. Well, this is important when it comes to networking, okay? It's also, because it's kind of like a twofold here, this is also important when it comes to your client base, when it comes to sales, when it comes to increasing your customer, right? When it comes to your customer acquisition costs, when it comes to a lot of things in developing and scaling your business, this sign right here is absolutely important. And here's why, because this is what it means. When this sign, when you see it, it simply means gain, right? We all agree this is basic, simple addition, kindergarten grade math, right? Like, not kindergarten. When y'all start learning math, like in the first grade, second, something like that. Anyway, when we add, we gain. It's simple. Every time you add to something, you gain, okay? And I really want us to think about that. It may not kick in until after this live is over, but think about that. Anytime you add to something, you gain, okay? And so the opposite of that, which I'm going to show you, is this. Like we know, the plus sign, when you add, you gain. So what happens with this sign? Anybody want to take a guess? Yep. I'm sure in your mind you're guessing absolutely right. When you subtract, you lose, right? Minus equals a loss. So keep that in mind. When you add, you gain. When you subtract, you lose. So what does that have to do with networking? And this is it right here. This is simple. When you're networking with someone, your goal, your only goal, I didn't say your only goal, but your main goal is to add value to that individual. Think about that. You are entering in a room of individuals, right? And your goal is to not do this. You don't want to subtract. You don't want to take away from anybody. You want to add value. And I'm trying to make all this connect, and it could be because it's cold and have my head all foggy, things like that. But we want to add value to the individuals we meet because we don't want to seem like the sleazy salesperson, right? You don't want to go into a mixer or in any kind of venue with the intent to build your network simply by going in and asking for something. That's the subtraction, right? Because you are taking away from that individual, which is giving you a loss. Okay. And I hope that analogy makes sense. When you take away from somebody, right, you lose. You're automatically taking a loss, especially if you do it first. Same, if you subtract something first, there's going to be a loss. But if you add enough things up front, you can take that one loss and it won't affect anything because you've added so much up front. Okay. And so how do you add to individuals? When you go networking, mixing, how do you add? You simply ask them. I mean, well, how can I say you want to listen first. There we go. That's what I want to make sure. You want to make sure that you are listening first, okay? That's how you add, because the minute that you come in and you talk before you listen, you've already lost. Done. Nobody wants to network with you because you seem aggressive, overbearing, pushing like the sleazy salesman. So how to network is the first thing. Listen, always listen. And it's not the fact that you are trying to be manipulative or anything like that. You honestly and earnestly really want to listen because you want to know if the individual that you're networking with is somebody that really needs to be in your network. You know, because when you go to places, this world is huge, right? We see people every day, or at least we used to before the pandemic, right? But when this is over, we're going to eventually get back out into the world and we're going to be interconnecting, right? Like the definition said, we're going to be interconnecting with individuals. And we want to make sure that who we are connecting with, who we are allowing in our circle really needs to be there. And the only way to make that assessment is if we're listening. Okay. And by you listening, you are adding value to you and them, because listeners are trusted people. Talkers, maybe. So the first thing, always make sure you listen. That's how you add value. And then, so here's the trick. This is what I'm about to give you the game. So listen up. You want to ask them, how can you help them? And so this is after you've determined that the individual that you're networking with is definitely somebody that you want in your circle. You have to find out, how can you help them? Okay. Remember, you're not asking for a sale. You're not asking for a favor. You're not asking anything. You're listening with the intent to understand how you can add value to them. How can you how can you help them, right? And And think about what that does in the reverse. If somebody says, you know, I'm just use myself as an example. So I'm getting, like I said, a lot of what do they want to sponsorship emails and people want to sponsor the videos, and I'm talking to them and they're talking. I'm like, well, how can you add value to what I'm already doing, right? And that's what I'm thinking in my head when I receive these emails and these messages, and they want to sponsor a video and we can partner up. And I'm like, well, where's the value? How can you add value to what I'm doing? Nobody has yet to answer that question, which is why I have yet to do a sponsorship. So if we're that individual, this is say, well, this is how you can add value. I can do so by this. If your audience is this type of audience, well, my service provides this for your audience, so it'll be a great mesh. It'll work. Nobody has done that approach yet. And when we look at that, say for example, so I'm trying to think of another example on the fly here. With me and Miss Gimme Cornbread. She is now in my network. She was a guest here on a live show. She did an excellent presentation. She added value to me, right? Her being on the show added value to my show. And she didn't ask for anything in return. But what it did, if we think about that, she added value to me, so it did something for me. Right? She didn't ask for anything in return, but what she did get in return was exposure. Okay, everybody who watched the video live, who's watching the replay on it, both Facebook and YouTube, now her business is being exposed to a broader audience. And if I'm not mistaken, she even got some leads off of that. But that's how we have to do things, because she provided value, asked nothing in return, but possibly got something anyway. And that's how we are supposed to do it. You know, when you're reaching out to people, it's easy to say, like, if I was to reach out to somebody, I would reach out to somebody like, look, you know, I have a small audience of very serious entrepreneurs that chime in every Friday night. I think your product will be excellent. Let's talk. And so in their mind, I'm not asking for anything except for them to come on the show and expose themselves to my audience. That's a win for them. Why would they say no to free marketing? Pretty much, right? Why would they say no to free exposure? Most people wouldn't, because we're adding value to them. And that's how you go around and you network. If you walked up to everybody and the first thing come out your mouth is what you do and your product and your service, you may get that one person, but for the most time, people gonna look at you, smile, and wait for you to walk away and just don't ever remember you again. So you have to make sure that you're not subtracting by asking for anything up front. Add value. And I said it's twofold, because you want to do that not when you're networking and building your network, but also when you're building your customer base. Because your customers is also part of your network. Your team that you have or eventually will have is part of your network. And the more you pump value into them, the more the value of your brand, the more the value of your money goes up. Your net worth, your value is tied to your network, which I said also includes your team members, your customers, and the people that you network with and you use as a resource and a connection. All of those things is going to be directly tied to how high you go, your altitude. Okay? Next thing on the list, we're going to talk about it. Let me get back to the desktop and get some water. I'm going to give you a couple of pro tips, okay? Some pro tips to help you navigate better. Okay, not saying that you ain't doing it now, but just to help you navigate better. Pro tips. Pro tip number 1. Have your elevator speech ready, all right? Because it is stated that you only have about 30 seconds to get your point across. Now, I know that pretty much this, like I just said a few seconds ago, I want you to listen. I don't want you to sell anything when you're building your network, right? I know I just said that, but there is going to come a time when you're networking, right? Because you're going to be listening, obviously, but somebody is going to be like, okay, well, what is it that you do? And in that moment, that's where you want to have your elevator pitch ready. 30 seconds. Right? Do y'all know why they call it elevator pitch? Because it's pretty much about the time when you get on the elevator with somebody to the time you get off. That's the amount of time that you should have the question answered. What do you do? Already prepared to say something to somebody. This is what I do. And make sure that you're not fumbling at the words. You want to be confident when you say it. You want to be articulate when you say it. You want to have your elevator speech ready to go. And in your elevator speech, it should include the problem and pain points and how you solve it. Okay? Your elevator speech should not be, hi, my name is, right? You should already have a tag somewhere that says what your name is, so you can leave that out. Your elevator speech should not be a brag. We ain't bragging. Your elevator speech should identify the problems and pain points and say, this is how my product or service solves the products and pain points. Normally it'd be something like, if I think one on the fly, well, you know how entrepreneurs and startups struggle with taxes and finances in the beginning? Well, the self-employed tax guy offers to solve that by giving them education and tools needed to understand how it works and what's needed. Simple. That wasn't my elevator speech. Trust me, I'm reworking on it. I'm constantly working on it because I constantly want to change it. But notice I brought up the pains and the pain points, saying that you know how entrepreneurs and startups, that right there, I identified my market. You know how they struggle with. Well, here comes the pain points, the pain points and the problems. You know, they struggle with business entity taxes. Woo, 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 woo. Yeah, okay. Well, my company, the self-employed tax company, does woo, woo, woo. There's a solution. So that's like the framework of your elevator pitch. Identify your target market, identify the pain points and problems, put your company name in there, say how your company provides a solution. 4 things, 30 seconds. The next pro tip, which is also important, know the benefits. I can't really stress that enough. Know the benefits of your service or product, not the features, right? Features are facts. Benefits are more of, this is what's in it for you, right? Like we are good with rattling off facts. We can do that all day long, right? Oh, you know, it does this, and this. You know, like when we go to a car dealership, right? Oh yeah, it was 360 horsepower. It has stopping power. This is and the other. It has. They rattle off so much of the facts because it sounds good to rattle off that much information. But then the question becomes, well, okay, that sounds good, but what does that mean for me? And that's what we want to answer. Get to the benefit of that. I remember when I went to go buy a bike, because we wanted to go riding, bike riding one time. And I went into the bike shop and I saw a bike that I liked. It looked good, right? I was like, okay, I don't know what all this is, these Shimano brakes and all these gears, I just remember getting on the bike and pedaling. Bikes nowadays come with all this stuff. And the man got to rattling off facts. Like, this is what this is. These are the Shimano brakes. These are the best brakes on the market. Well, this is that and the other. And I'm like, that really absolutely means nothing to me. And honestly speaking, he rattled off so many facts, he confused me. I left. The man didn't get the sale. Did not get the sale at all. But I went into another shop and like it says here, the benefits are more, this is what's in it for you. The second shop we went into, they were more benefit oriented. They're like, yeah, it has these brakes, and the reason these brakes is important because when you, again, when he said with me, like imagine yourself riding and you're going downhill, you want to be able to grip not so hard and have immediate stopping power. So the benefit of these brakes is it saves your life. Not a fact that this just a brake that comes from this manufacturer that's the hottest on the market. No, what does that mean for me? And so we have to do that. Like I said, this is twofold. When we're networking and for our team and for our customers, we have to be more benefit focused than features, because everybody knows the features. They got that when they went to Google. When they went to Google and they was researching, because the latest research shows that more than 80% of consumers do their research first. So they've already checked out the facts. They are now looking for the benefit. So when we're networking and we're building our networking, because again, we want our net worth to go up, we need to make sure that we focus on the benefits. All right. What's the next one? Should I say the last one here? I think it's the last one. Yes. Well, it may not be the last one. I don't know. We'll see. But pro tip number 3, be approachable. Okay. I put that in red. Be very aware of your facial expressions. Be aware. Okay. Smile. And like it says, most likely when you attend a mixer, you are going to be in a room full of strangers. There is something called RBF, resting B-word face. I'm not going to cuss. My mama watching, and y'all ain't going to get me to use profanity while my mama watching. But this is a real thing. I'm going to show you here. I highlighted this. Let me make sure that's bigger. Look at that. The resting cuss word face is real, scientist says. And this is, and I don't know if you can see it, but this is an article from CNN. This is not fake news. There was a similar article in the Washington Post. Not fake news. This here is a real thing. So we have to be mindful, because what it is funny. Me and my wife, we kind of make fun of my daddy, Pop. I'm glad that you're here watching this, because we say that's what he has. Because he'll just be sitting there and we be like, dang, why are you frowning? And most people don't even know that they're doing it. They just like, what you mean I'm frowning? Like, yeah, right now you frowning. Why? I don't know. Well, now we have a title for people that do that unconsciously. The resting B-face. That's what it's called, right? So, and we have to be mindful, because again, if you are an introvert like myself, surprisingly, believe it or not, I'm not that much of an extrovert and an outgoing individual. I go to mixers, I just kind of stand there. And, oftentimes my wife would go with me and she'll kind of let me know, like, change your facial expression. Like, oh, I didn't know. I wasn't paying attention. But oftentimes, if you're like I said, if you're an introvert and you go to a mixer and you're not that extrovert individual, you're not going to be smiling and going up to random people. Hey, how you doing? My name is Tyrone. So good to meet you. What brings you here? Kind of person. You're going to be sitting back, observing, trying to pick specifically or strategize which of these individuals you want to go speak to, because you ain't about to speak to everybody, right? So if you're that individual, again, be aware of your body language, be aware of your facial expression, because things like this exist. And if people are looking at you and you have a resting type of face, nobody will approach you. You become unapproachable. You become that person that just sits there because nobody wants to deal with you, right? Nobody wants to deal with the Karens or the resting B-face people. Just know that that's a real thing and be mindful of it. All right. Last tip, I do believe. Tip number 4. I think this one is the last one because I didn't want to be all night with tips. Cool. Next thing is the fact that we have to have balance. Meaning that I know I've been saying listen, and it's true. You want to listen because you want to make sure that the person that you're networking with is going to be the person that should be in your circle, okay? But you have to talk too. We just said tip 1, get that elevator speech ready, okay? Because somebody is going to ask you, well, what is it that you do? But you don't want to stop there, right? You want to actually be able to engage in further conversation. You have to have that balance, because if you're just standing there paraphrasing, good, okay, right? Showing that you are attentively listening, which is a good thing, but if that's all you do, people are going to look at you funny. They'll be like, well, that's weird. Okay, well, what about you? And if you go back to the elevator speech again, that's robotic and funny sounding. So make sure that you balance, because you don't want to just stand there and listen all night. You want to add something to the conversation. All right. And I think that pretty much ended that. So that's the mathematical equation of networking. Making sure that you are adding value as well as getting your elevator pitch together, right? Making sure that you understand benefits versus facts, and making sure that you watch your facial expressions. You don't want to do the resting B-face thing. Don't want to do that. And also make sure that you have balance. So yeah. Whoop, whoop to whoop. So let's see. What time we got? Oh man, I got 10 minutes to spare. Who got some questions for me? Christian, how are we doing back there in comments? We good? Oh, I forgot. Didn't put that on the card, but I did want to mention this. That if you're like me, if you are an introvert, that you don't really go out much, and when you do go out, you're the quiet one in the room, but you do understand the value of a network. You do understand of adding valuable resources to your team, to your Rolodex cards. Y'all remember Rolodex cards? But this is what you do if you're me, because I'm an introvert. Take somebody with you who's not afraid to market. That's where my wife comes in. Every time I'm going to a mixer, some of the big QuickBooks put on mixers, and Zero put on new, and all the big companies, they put on little networking events. I'll be like, babe, come on, go with me. At first, she didn't know what I was doing, right? She was just like, oh, thinking, okay, cool, let's go to the mixer and hang out. But I noticed something that when we would go to mixers together, she was the outgoing one. I'd be sitting there at the table, like, the thing, eating the little hors d'oeuvres and cheese and thing, and she out there just networking with everybody. She come back over, oh, yeah, this is my husband, and this is what he does, woo woo. At that point, that's when I get to talk, right? So if you find yourself in them situations where you need to network, it's good to network, but you're not good at it, take a wing person with you, a wing man, wing woman, and have them go out and do all the networking for you. That should have been pro tip number 5. For the introverts, though, if you're an extrovert, you ain't got no problem. You just get out there and you do it. But if you're like me and you're an introvert, you can't do it, take somebody with you, right? For me, it's the missus, because when we go, she good. She out there talking to everybody. She's just a little social butterfly, but not me, okay? Yeah, so what else? I feel like I missed something. I did not. No? Okay. Who said that? I can't hear you. You gonna send it? Well, send it, boy. You slow. All right, let's see here. Auntie in the building says, great teaching. Love the shirt. Thank you, Auntie. Appreciate it. Yes. The sole proprietor. I'm a proprietor that has soul. No, that's not why I did this shirt here. But yes, the sole proprietor. For me, I made this shirt. I came up with the concept by understanding that the proprietor means business, right? Like, has any of y'all seen the latest video I posted? Not saying that you need to watch it, because I'm pretty sure y'all already know enough information, but the latest video that I posted was about the sole proprietor, but the term sole proprietor, somebody actually said it in a comment, and I think they misspelled it on accident, but I was like, I like that. Sole proprietor. So I kind of took it, adapted it, designed my logo, had it printed up, and now here it is. Because to me, you are a sole proprietor if you care more than just about the business. For me, I consider myself a sole proprietor because I care about the entire individual, the essence of the individual, not just their business. Of course, I want their business to succeed, but I also want them to succeed personally. So my connection goes deeper than the surface. It goes to the soul. So therefore, I am a sole proprietor. That's what that is. Yes. Huh? No, I don't know if I'm going to do merch dropping soon, but I will say this. If you feel you are a sole proprietor, if your business goes beyond the surface of just helping people with their business, if you care enough about people, let me know, and I may just send you a shirt, because that means you're a sole proprietor too, and we'll do it like that. Yeah, so let's see. What was it? Says Joshua Robinson, somehow I never thought of that because I'm an introvert too. Cool, yeah, absolutely, right? Introverts, we got to network. It's important. If it's just us, we can only go so far. That's it. So we got to make sure that we get somebody who else is comfortable enough with doing what needs to be done, and we are good to go. Yeah. So let's see what is going on here. I'm trying to think. Huh? Christian messing with me. Thanksgiving is coming up. Oh, yes. Let me make mention here, man. So now that we are getting to only 6 videos or something left, these videos are not going to stay public. They are going to become private. Most likely when the stream ends, that's it. The video won't be nowhere on YouTube. You'd only see it if you have the link. So, excuse me. If you want the video, shoot me an email. I'll send you the private link. because like I said, going forward, these next few videos, I really am going to reward the individuals that are here live every Friday. Those that have been here live with me every Friday from the beginning. Like, I don't think Uncle Van Hennessy has missed not one episode, not one live, right? So definitely got to make sure that I reward individuals like him, Miss Gimme Cornbread, you know, those of you who have been here since the beginning, want to reward you. So I'm going to give like some good, rich content coming out that I'm not going to leave public here on the channel. So if you're here watching live tonight for the first time, lucky you, because I'm telling you to chime in for these last couple of videos, because I know I'm planning to talk about business credit. That's definitely going to be one. The few things we need, how it works, how to establish it, answering the very famous question, I want to buy a vehicle. Well, who should buy the vehicle? Should the business buy the vehicle, or should the individual buy the vehicle? So we're going to kind of look at that, leasing versus purchasing, business owning it versus the individual owning it. Again, that's some more advanced stuff, but to me, it's good to know, especially as Christmas approaches, as the end of the year approaches. All of a sudden, everybody want to spend money so they can have more to write off. And I don't want you to have that mentality. Think about it. You are still, wait a minute, let me do this. You are still spending money. Just because you can write it off does not change the fact that you are still spending money. And you may spend $40,000 and only save $5,000. That don't make sense to me. So I want to make sure that we are not doing that. So a lot of the videos that's coming up is definitely going to get us into some deep thought. And because of that, it's premium. I ain't doing it for free. You know, free is going out the door in 2021. So I want to reward you for being here by providing you with some of the best information that I can. But do note that after the live ends, that video and those videos going forward will be nowhere found. You'd have to email me and I'll be more than happy to send you the link. So I think that is puts me right at about 7 o'clock. Yeah, a few minutes before, but that's okay. So we are going to go ahead and end it for tonight. Do we have questions, Christian, before I just talk everybody off? Let's see. Mr. Robinson says, what's that? I can't even do it. Yeah, the representational, thank you, sir, and protective differences between DBAs and trademarks. Great question. Legally, the difference between a DBA and a trademark, a DBA is the name, which can be trademarked. The difference between a DBA is the fact that there is no legal protection outside of where you're registered. So if you register the name XYZ company in your local county, nobody else can register that name in your county. That's it. But the someone in the neighboring county, someone in the neighboring state, someone in the farther state can still use that name. Okay. But if you trademark it, I don't care where you are. If it's trademarked, nobody else can use that name. Okay. That's really the difference between DBA and trademarks. Also, the difference between a DBA and a trademark, DBAs, I'm gonna use California prices, is about $125. Trademark is about $2,500. So there's also a difference in price as well. So kind of keep that in mind. Okay, so again, it's 7 o'clock. This cold is kicking my behind, so I'm gonna go ahead and end it. Make sure that if you enjoy this type of information, to shower me with some love on social media there. Yeah, we should be good. Let me put the end screen up here. Come on up here, nephew, so we can end this out here.
No, I'm just playing.
Yes, there's anything you want to say to the people besides?
Yeah, dig. Nothing much, you know. Love you guys. Hope you had a great night tonight, you know. I did. I learned a lot. You know, thank you, because I learned a lot from you on a daily basis. But
I appreciate
love y'all,
that.
family,
Yes.
and.
All right, and as you can see it right there while he's talking again, feel free to head over to Facebook, give it a thumbs up, like the page, follow me on Instagram.
Where's it at? Right there?
Yeah, Instagram right here,
Oh, yeah,
right? Yeah, then subscribe here for YouTube.
Make sure you click the bell.
Yeah, click the bell icon. Know that we love you. And also, real quick, I see something that I wanted to mention because one of the things, let me do this here. How do you network in today's digital age, right? Like I know we are in a pandemic, so not a lot of things are happening socially, but there are some still get involved in some of these virtual workshops that people are offering. You can network in the chat. If you see somebody's asking the same line of questions that you're asking, then it's possible that that individual is on the same page as you. People most likely, when people are doing webinars and these virtual conferences, the host always asks where you're from, what's your business. You know, you can send message to the individual. Hey, I noticed their business is this. What did you do? Tell me more. Let's see if there's a way that I can help. Something like that. Again, add value to the individual, chat digitally. And I see here that Ms. Gimme Cornbread, who is Brilliant's technical writing here in the chat, says to create a V card on your phone with your logo and biz info so you can send it via text message to good people you meet, which is absolutely a great point. I agree with that because business cards, even though we still have them, we're getting more and more into a digital age where not a lot of people use business cards. So creating a V card, something that you can send somebody digitally without them having to hold a physical item in your hand. I saw that there's another type of card. It's a business card. I think it's called Links, Linx, where you can just really load your information onto the card, and at a network, and all you got to do is tap somebody's phone and it preloads it. So the world is changing. Should I say the method is changing, but the mission is not, right? There's still ways to network. We still got to network, still get out there, build your network as it's tied to your net worth. So back to anything else. I don't think we said that. What?
Friday 13th.
Oh, Christian wants to play a scary movie for Friday 13th. Yeah, let the people know. Hit the scary. All right, that was it. Okay. Look, man, we love you. We appreciate you being here. And until next time, we will leave you with this here. And y'all make sure y'all take care of yourself. Don't get sick like me, right? Just be good. Stay sick. It's too late now. You can close. So, all right, man. No, we love you, and we'll see y'all next week.